Okay, everyone, we're trying this a second time. Just make sure. Just gonna make sure we are connected on YouTube. If my internet happens to drop out another time, then I'm going to just end up recording the video and uploading it after the fact. So let's just make sure. Okay, we are live. Our health isn't that great. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to not be in the chat, and I'll just periodically check it. So that way there's less consuming internet activity. So now to start over, I'm going to be doing a bunch of drum stuff today, some tips and tricks, and there'll be a template I'll show you how to make, but you can also just download it from my Google Drive. It's in the description below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the videos, the content. You know, there's video gaming stuff, music making stuff. Soon I'll have some gardening stuff, all sorts of stuff that I'm into and that you should be interested in too. So today we're going to focus on drums. And so to start this off, I'm going to load in a drum machine. Now it does start off empty, which is good, but for the sake of, you know, doing this for beginners, and if anyone doesn't, you know, hasn't built a custom drum set for themselves before on here, we're going to just load in a kit. Should be a way to minimize that. There we go. And now what you have here, you know, you can see we have our kick, snare, some hats, another kick, a clap. And what I would do is I would just go through and replace these with my own sounds. So it's a nice dirty kick. Sometimes you might want to adjust the release and the actually, let's get a shorter kick. Okay, that's good. Got a kick in there. Get a clap. Why do these all sound exactly the same? Okay. Now this snare, I like the reverb with it hanging out like that, but I think it's too low, so we're just going to pitch it up a little bit. Which, even though we're working with drums, you know, there is a melodic factor to them. You always want to make sure your drums are in tune with each other and the song itself. Transpose it up a seventh. Now, to get right into one of the things that I would do when I'm making a kit like this is what I would actually do is go here to the plus sign, and now we want to go into our Bitwig containers. No, not containers. MIDI, note effects. Okay. All right. So I think I've kind of fucked this up. What we're looking for is the instrument layer thing here. So we'll put that there, and then we'll put our kick into the instrument layer. So now we can close that. See, now when we hit the button, we still get the same kick. But let's say this kick didn't give you enough thud, right? I mean, even though it is really a thuddy kind of kick. So we'll go into my kicks folder here. Let's layer this one in. Maybe pitch it down a step. Those are too digital. Sorry, okay, that's good, because that's in contrast to the whoomp. See here, now we have this reverb kick in there, and they're layered together. And then even with the snare sound we have, we can go in here. Find ourselves a snap sound. We're actually, I'm so ahead of myself here. Put that there, insert our snare, and then throw in a snap. Maybe we need a different one. Clap would probably be better, actually. I don't know why I have this folder of 1,000 of the same claps. I'm definitely getting that out of there. Alright, I like the pop in that one. And we can turn that down a little. Throw that one. And now with them in here like this, what you could do even is, you know, there's this effects thing here. So I'd add reverb just to I think that's adding it to all of them. Oh no, it's not really liking how that's doing that echoey kind of thing. Okay. So now what we'll do up here is we'll just program in basic beat with these two that we've put together. We'll put our snares on the 2 and the 4. We'll actually double that out. We're going to slow down the tempo. Okay. Now we can go in and we have our hi-hats here. So have that open hat there. Actually, I like that one more. Alright, so now we got these two hi-hat sounds in here. And in here even, you can set the grid to 30 seconds. Oh. We now copy this over. Now one of the things you can do to make this hat part sound a little more natural is you can mess with the velocities here. I'm going to highlight these though. Go to quantize. Although, maybe this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, 30 seconds. Although even some of them, because I've got this tempo down so low, what I really want is let me bring some of these up a bit. Now one of the things I normally do in my basic beats is I will bring the velocity for the kick and the snare all the way up. And then here, you can just add in some little bits. Now you can have a kick here. Because you don't have to do all of your layering within now, oops, go back in here. Put in a different kick. Or even, you know what might sound good? A distorted kick. We got one. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So maybe something like want to bring this even slower. Now, we can add that clap in here. We'll have this clap go on the last one. Now, this is one of the things that Bitwig does, is sometimes you'll load in a sample and it will pitch it out. So you have to just hit that keyboard thing there. And we want to make sure that rings out. Alright, so that's how I used to do my beats in the program. Is I used to keep everything in those drum machines, and then I would have the instrument layers, and then each of the layers might then have effects on them. And it just ended up being a mess, basically, because you'd want to go in and tweak stuff, and you know, it's like you have to figure out, like, you know, on which of the snares in the layer pack is the reverbs. Hey Dave, I tried to start this before if you are still lurking around in the chat, and the my internet just completely dropped out, so I've been keeping the YouTube window closed, and just periodically popping in. So if you do put anything in the chat, I might not see it right away. Which I'm going to be closing it again now. So that's method one, is layering the things in the drum machine itself. But now I'm going to show you how I build kits nowadays, where it's just an easier method for me to work, and it's also what's available in the template I have for download in the link in the description below. So Bitwig introduced this new grouping factor, which, I mean, it's not that this method is perfect either. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually load in several drum machines. And then what I would do here is I would have my sub kicks, my regular kicks, my snare, clap, snap, my hi-hats, and cymbals, and then what else? Toms. And then this can just be percussion and effects. And then what I do here, you can select all of these and you can group them together. So group one here is my drums. And this way, I can go in here. I can get and you get a kick like that. You can go in here. And instead of layering, maybe this isn't the best one to show it in. We'll go into the regular kicks for me to show this. I'm gonna mute this out for a second. So let's say I'm in my regular kicks drum machine. Okay, we're gonna use this kick. And now instead of having to layer them within the one hit itself, I can layer them side by side. Now, I'll say this is probably not the best method if you like to play out your drums on the triggers. But it is good if you want to do little things like, let me move this over. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold control and duplicate over this kick drum track. I'm going to drag that second kick up, and now we're going to pitch this one down a bit. And you know what? Let's cut here, consolidate them, because let's get us a clap. Oh my god, these really are all the same for whatever reason. Alright, let's say we want that. We're going to the snares. We just gotta make sure these ring out like they're supposed to. Now that's just fairly normal. We're gonna double these up. Except this, I think we want to pitch it. And I want it to have a little more oomph to it, so let's just keep with all the Bitwig stuff. Let's see what we have in here. Now, I'm not real crazy about this snare sound still, but I think the undertones of it could still work. So I'm gonna just layer in another one. I feel like these don't have enough meat on their bones, basically. Let's try that. Now right there, I had to pitch that other snare down a little bit just to keep it all in tune with the song itself. Let's see how this sub works in here. Now when you close this, you just end up with a drum track that looks like this, and then you have to expand upon it to get in. But to me, I like that I can visually see my layers this way, rather than having them contained in those instruments the other way, where you can't really see it as much. There's one other thing I think I'm going to get into as far as drum tricks and everything like that. And that is, if I remember how to do it correctly, in the sampler here, another thing you hear a lot of on a lot of records is you hear pitched out 808s across the keyboard. So find a good one. We'll go with this because it says that it's rooted in D. And just to make sure it stays in tune. So here when we click this piano thing now, you can't see it on the keyboard here, but now I have it throughout the keyboard like it's a bass instrument, basically. And that's very helpful, especially for like trap music and hip hop beats. So yeah, that's the other nifty little trick. So sometimes I will create a bunch of instruments and save them like that of kick drums. Since switching over to this computer, I haven't brought them over or anything like that. And just gonna check in with the chat here one more time, and I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover, though. And like I said, we can go in here, or let me see, up here, user interface, Echoscape, my templates, open. Yeah, drum kit here, kick, sub kick, snare. This is the template that is available in the Google Drive link that I have posted. So you can download that, anyone using Bitwig. And, you know, some of this stuff, I'm not sure about the other programs, how much of it would be applicable or not, but I'm sure, I'm pretty sure Ableton has to have something similar. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. And there are tons of plugins. Now, one other thing I will do sometimes, because I like my drums really booming on tracks, is I will put my drums together in here, and then I will close it up, and then I will duplicate that, and I will add Dada Life's sausage fattener onto this. And in this method, it sometimes is better this way, because then you can take your cymbals and everything else and just lower the volume and have it be the snare and the kick that really cut through everything. So that's another little trick I do. But yeah, I think that about covers it for the two methods of drum machines I use, and things as far as pitching the samples, layering, and stuff like that. It's really something you have to experiment with. I'm not sure if there is. I know some programs offer Bitwig. No. I have seen people in Ableton. Ableton has a little tuner plugin here. I'm not sure if Bitwig does or not, but you know, something like that would be really good as far as being able to see what tune your kick drums are in if they aren't listed. Let's see. Note receiver. Place the note stream. Note pitch shifter. Note latch. Note effects. Note filter. Multi-note. I'll have to look into it some other time. See if there is a tuner for this thing. If not, hopefully it will be in one of the updates. You know, filter, channel map, arpeggio. All right, so that's it for this episode, everyone. I'm going to do some more of these on different things, and also the rest of my sound pack. So I'll have another video in Sundog Studio with some MIDI chords and stuff. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and take care, everyone.